The armies of Israel and the Philistines faced each other across a valley, with fear and tension filling the air. Each day, a giant warrior named Goliath stepped forward and challenged Israel to send a man to fight him. When the Israelites saw Goliath, they were afraid. No soldier wanted to face the giant. Far from the battlefield, David was a young shepherd caring for his father's sheep with faithfulness and courage. One day, Jesse sent David to bring food to his brothers, who were serving in Israel's army. David arrived at the camp just as the armies were lining up for battle. Then David heard Goliath's challenge and saw how the men of Israel trembled before him. David asked why no one would stand against the man who defied the armies of the living God. David's older brother Eliab became angry with him, but David did not turn away from what was right. Soon, David's words were reported to King Saul, and David was brought before him. David told Saul that he would go and fight Goliath. David explained that the Lord had helped him protect his sheep from the lion and the bear. Saul agreed, and he dressed David in his own armor. But the armor did not fit David. He removed it and chose to trust the Lord in the way God had prepared him. David went to the brook and chose 5 smooth stones, placing them carefully into his shepherd's pouch. With his staff, sling, and stones, David walked toward Goliath. Goliath mocked David, but David was not trusting in size, armor, or human strength. David declared that the battle belonged to the Lord and that God would deliver his people. Then David ran toward the giant with courage and faith. He placed a stone in his sling, swung it, and released it toward Goliath. The stone struck Goliath in the forehead, and the giant fell to the ground. The champion of the Philistines was defeated, not by human power, but by the Lord's deliverance. David stood victorious, and the fear that had held Israel began to break. When the Philistines saw that their champion had fallen, they fled. The men of Israel rose up and pursued the Philistines, and the Lord gave them victory. After the battle, Saul asked whose son David was. David was brought before Saul, still carrying the humility of a shepherd and the courage of faith. The people saw David's victory, but the true glory belonged to the Lord. God had used a young shepherd to show that the weak are strong when they trust in him. The story of David and Goliath reminds us that the battle belongs to the Lord.